The United States of America, a nation of 50 states, and one of the most powerful countries on Earth. But long before skyscrapers, technology, and global dominance, this land was home to hunters, native tribes, an endless wilderness. This is the story of how America became a superpower. Welcome to Trial Nova America, United States of America, one of the most powerful nations on Earth. But long before the skyscrapers, this land belonged to nature and native tribes. Thousands of years ago, humans crossed a frozen bridge from Asia into North America. They hunted mammoths, gathered food, and built the first communities. Then came farming, and with it, powerful civilizations began to rise. The Maya, Aztec, and Inca built massive cities across the Americas. In 1492, Christopher Columbus arrived from Europe. He believed he had reached India, but he was wrong. Soon, Europe rushed to colonize the New World. Spain, Portugal, and Britain fought for land, power, and wealth. Disease and violence wiped out millions of native people. Then came slavery. As Africans were forced into the Americas, Britain established 13 colonies along the East Coast. But heavy taxes and strict control fueled anger among the colonists. The Boston Tea Party became the spark of rebellion, and soon, the American Revolution began. In 1776, America declared independence. Led by George Washington, the colonies defeated Britain. The young nation expanded westward at incredible speed. But one issue threatened to destroy the nation: slavery. The North opposed it. The South depended on it. The conflict exploded into the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln declared slavery would end. After years of brutal war, the Union survived. America then entered the age of industry. Railroads, factories, and giant corporations transformed the nation. Millions of immigrants arrived, chasing the American dream. Then came 2 world wars, and America emerged as a global power. In World War II, atomic bombs were dropped on Japan. In a single moment, Hiroshima lost nearly 140,000 people to the world's first atomic attack. Days later, a second bomb was dropped on Nagasaki. Hundreds of thousands of lives were changed forever. Japan surrendered, bringing World War II to an end. Although the war ended, a new rivalry soon began. On one side stood the United States, and on the other stood the Soviet Union. This confrontation became known as the Cold War. The two nations never fought directly, but competed for global influence. Arms races, space races, and intelligence battles dominated the era. In 1969, America amazed the world by landing humans on the moon. America's position in science and technology became even stronger. The Cold War continued for decades. Finally, in 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. This left America as the world's sole superpower. Then began the era of technology, the Internet and digital America. Silicon Valley gave birth to some of the world's largest technology companies. In the 1970s and 1980s, Silicon Valley became the birthplace of the personal computer revolution. Companies like Apple, IBM, and Atari introduced groundbreaking technologies that transformed everyday life. as computers entered homes and businesses, Microsoft, Intel, and Oracle became the driving forces behind software, processors, and enterprise computing across the world. By the late 1990s, the internet was changing the world. Cisco, Yahoo, and Sun Microsystems helped build the networks and infrastructure that connected millions of people online. Before the age of social media and smartphones, these technology pioneers laid the foundation for the modern digital world we know today. Even today, America's influence on the global economy, technology, and military remains enormous. And that is how a nation that began as a collection of colonies became one of the most influential countries on Earth. But America's story does not end here. Yet many important chapters of modern American history remain to be told. Vietnam War, Iraq War, Afghanistan War. The Vietnam War lasted from 1955 to 1975. The United States supported South Vietnam in a long and costly conflict. After 2 decades of intense fighting and heavy casualties, North Vietnam emerged victorious, reshaping the region's future. The Afghanistan War began in 2001 after the September 11th attacks. For nearly 20 years, U.S. forces fought against Taliban insurgents. In 2021, American troops withdrew, bringing an end to America's longest war. The Iraq War started in 2003 when U.S.-led forces invaded Iraq. The conflict led to years of violence, instability, and political change. Most American troops withdrew in 2011, marking the end of a major chapter in the war. As tensions continue to rise around Iran, the world watches closely. Military movements, political decisions, and regional uncertainty have placed the Middle East at the center of global attention. While the situation continues to evolve, its impact could shape the future of the region for years to come. From the jungles of Vietnam to the mountains of Afghanistan and the deserts of Iraq, these wars did more than shape nations. They changed the course of history itself. Today, we've shared only a brief glimpse into these conflicts. But behind every battle lies a story of strategy, sacrifice, victory, and loss. If you'd like to explore these wars in greater depth, let us know in the comments. In future episodes, we'll uncover the full story, one chapter at a time. Your support is what inspires the creation of documentaries like this. Imagine a world where a single country's decisions can influence markets across the globe. For decades, the United States has played a central role in the world economy. From international trade to global finance, America's influence reaches nearly every corner of the planet. One of the biggest reasons for this influence is oil. Often called the lifeblood of the modern economy, oil powers industries, transportation, and global commerce. Since the middle of the 20th century, the United States has maintained strong economic and strategic relationships with many oil-producing nations, especially in the Middle East. But America's role goes beyond simply buying and selling oil. As countries around the world purchased oil, they often needed dollars to complete those transactions. This strengthened the position of the US dollar as the world's leading reserve currency. As global demand for energy grew, oil became deeply connected to international politics and economics. Decisions made in Washington, Riyadh, or other major capitals can affect fuel prices and global markets. Today, the world is changing. Renewable energy is growing, and new economic powers are emerging. Yet the relationship between the United States, oil trade, and the global economy remains one of the most important stories of the modern era. Understanding this connection helps explain how energy, money, and international influence have shaped the world we live in today. That's all for today. Behind every historical event lies countless stories, decisions, and untold truths. Today, we explored only a small part of that story. If you'd like a deeper exploration of this topic, let us know in the comments. Stay with us for more videos on history, geopolitics, and the untold stories of our world. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you again in the next episode. Until then, take care.